It's your boy, Colton Havens, aka Mr. Hype. And I'm super excited today. We got a guest. We have an ex TikTok employee here that's going to spill the beans on the secrets behind the scenes. We got James. James, where are you from?
Hey Colton, thanks so much for having me. I'm from Dallas, Texas originally. I currently stay in Austin, Texas. I worked for TikTok for up until November and of 2023, and then started this company after I left there. So I can do a little bit of consulting. So yeah, I'd love to share some of what we've got going on
Awesome.
today for the agenda.
That's pretty cool. You kind of got a different insight than what most people get to see because you've been in the back, you've worked with the employees, you've worked with how many customers have you worked with throughout the years? How long did you work there? And then how many customers did you work with?
That's a great question. There was a constant cycle of, several hundred accounts. My team dealt specifically with scaling accounts over 90-day, 180-day periods. So it was really up to me. I would select the accounts that I wanted to nurture more and then pass on the ones that were going somewhere else.
Okay, so when you're talking about these accounts, what are these accounts like? What are these people selling? What are you helping them sell? What kind of results do they get?
That's a great question. It's really everything under the sun. It's really wild because I don't think I understood the full breadth of it, of how many people have been flocking to TikTok in order to build a business for themselves. And I mean, there's beauty products. I had hand sanitizers, dog sweatshirts and clothes, as well as several creators, a couple of A-list artists, some really cool music groups, agencies, several agencies. So there was always clients asking me to do things and learn things for them within the company that I had that hunger coming in to learn. And I very quickly became a subject matter expert for a lot of topics because I was just ready to jump in, and it seemed like there was a huge shift before I got there. So not a lot of people had the knowledge within our team to be able to serve the clients as best as we can. So it was just like a wide open playing ground for me. I loved it.
So you're talking about you working with business owners who are selling a product, right? And
Yeah.
your job is just to help them sell more of that products. What I want to talk to you about really fast is the creative beta program where people get paid based off of their views. And did you ever work with those type of people? And if you did, what was kind of the results that you saw?
That's a great question. So creator side and business side is a pretty hard boundary on the back end of things due to the differences in policy. Policy applies to businesses, community guidelines apply to the creator economy. Since leaving TikTok, I've gotten a much better opportunity to dive into influencer networks and work with people in that space. But I've seen both sides of it in just generational wealth that this app is building for creators, and then as well as some of the difficulties that come along with being a creator and the learning processes. So being a creator and having access to that creator fund is life-changing for a lot of people. And I saw a lot of trends between those who were successful and those who had every tool at their disposal to be successful and still managed to somehow make it more difficult than it needed to be.
Give me an example of that, because I feel like 90% of people are in that space where they have everything at their fingertips. I tell people all the time, just make a damn video. Just make a damn video, right? And then make better hooks. So yeah, what do you think about what do you say to somebody in that situation where they have everything, but they're making it more complicated than it is? How simple is it?
Yeah, you're right, Colton. It is 90% of people who do have access to, it's a lot of people who have access to everything they need. These days, that's what they say. You just need a phone to be able to get on there and do it. For me, it was more complicated in that I had to go the hard route as well. And I honestly really do think it's a learning process of being patient and understanding yourself, because those are two of the main common denominators between all the people who've seen success on TikTok. They have a strategy and they know who they are, they know their audiences, and they use those things to their advantage. And they, they're not afraid to get up there and say what needs to be said. So it's a lot of fearlessness in the bravery of being who you truly are in your identity. I think that's especially on the creator side. I mean, people just relate to that, and it builds community. On the business side of things, it's also very, very much the same. You have a product because you have something that you love that you turned into a business, and you want to find your community.
Hang on, I lost your internet there. You said you want to find your community?
Yeah. You want to find your on TikTok.
Okay, so let's talk about the business side. Let's keep it simple because what I found is when I say you're a business owner, people come to me that don't have a product, don't have an LLC, but they're a business owner. So what classifies something as a business? What classifies something as a business to TikTok?
Selling a product and having an ads manager account. I mean, you can just put a link in bio, and after you get 1,000 followers on TikTok, you can put a link in your bio as a creator. And if you're a musician and an artist, you're pretty much always considered a creator first, and your creator account should be that for pretty much the entire time you're on TikTok. But the business aspect comes in once you integrate something like a TikTok shop or a showcase, or you start advertising like from your account. You attach your account specifically to an ads manager account.
Okay, yeah. So you're spending money to make sales.
Right. Well, you can promote on TikTok, and you can even do it for like lead generation as a creator, and that's still classified as creator side. So that is, I do think that a lot of people don't really understand those delineations between the business side of things and the creator side of the economy within TikTok. And there's been a huge push from the company from the beginning to keep everything internal, to have everything be just a one-stop shop, right? Stay, hang out, find your people, watch some cool stuff, laugh, love, cry, buy things, sell things. It's very holistic, and for that reason, it's a perfect economy for creators and communities.
Okay. Let's talk about the business side of things, because I know you and I talked earlier, and you helped people manage several $100,000 a month while they're spending ads to specifically e-com products, right? Where they're selling e-com products. And that's kind of one of the things you specialize. Can you elaborate on your experience in that space?
Yeah, e-commerce is a big category now. It's a growing category. And I know we've all heard about drop shippers. It goes all the way down to you can find someone who sells a product, affiliate, sell it through TikTok, through an ads manager account. It goes all the way down there, all the way up to massive companies selling, $100,000 products, houses being sold. I mean, you can't sell that on e-commerce and all that. But I mean, it's a similar space in my brain, because again, like, you have to bring that authenticity and that integrity into what you're selling. Some of my favorite accounts were creator branded accounts, or accounts that had a product and partnered with an influencer who had a community of people who were authentically trusting that influencer, and they partnered with somebody who understood business to create something that they could truly offer to their people, and that would fill a need for them, so that they could all feel like they're part of that community. So those have been some of the best performing ones that I've seen. Utilizing all sorts of user generated content, and partnerships, brand deals, sponsorships, sending out free samples. It goes very far and wide and broad. But for me, the people who were spending the most were seeing the most success, and they had proved to themselves before getting there that they were going to be successful because they came in heavy with the ad dollars. And if you have that kind of thing, someone like me who understands those systems and how they operate and the best practices of using them can make those dollars go a long way. There's a lot of benchmarks in place that I could spend a lot of time talking about. So that's a great question. It just really taps on the top of that, all of that knowledge.
What are some common problems that you addressed on a daily basis when it comes to helping people make more sales?
It does often go back to content. Content is king, and you have to be able to tell your story. You have to have an offer, and you have to have presentation.
Hang on, wait, whoa, hang on. You're telling me you have to, in order to make money, you have to have a product and present? No way, dude.
How crazy is that?
How hard it is for people to do that. I've been preaching this for years. For years. It's a product with the presentation. That's how you make sales. Now, you don't have to own the product and you don't have to be the person that does the presentation, but that's where the money collection happens on most of that. So I don't mean to cut you off, but that's just such a main point that people overlook. And even with the Creative Fund, when they're making TikTok videos, and like you said, people can make life-changing money based off of just their views. But if they have views and a presentation with a product, they're going to make even more money. And even if they have less views, you can still make money with 200 views on a video if you have a presentation and a product.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. See, hearing it from the source, people. Hearing it from the source. I hope we just got to land that point, because I deal with so many business owners who don't want to sell a product or who don't want to do a presentation. They don't want to do that, but there's plenty of other people out there that you can just get behind and push them if you have the views, which also means you still have to make videos.
Yeah.
Right? You still got to do
traditionally speaking, I mean, that's just sales. That's just sales to some people, and that has become an icky, gross word at some point along the way. And it's really just about understanding people's perception of you. What are you projecting through your content? What are you saying with your words and your pictures and your videos and the people who are in there and the environments that you're standing in? What are you saying? Do you know? Or is it just a mystery to you? That's why I feel much more empowered on the consulting side of things, because I can help with that back end of things now, in the curation of the content and the prep of the content, being able to do the video work. I have 2 videographers now who came over from Mr. Beast to work with my company, so that we can really get in there and understand people, where they're coming from, who their identity is, and be able to show that and tell that in a story that makes sense to the community that they're looking for and who is looking for them on TikTok with that product, not in their face, but like, hey, remember how this is how life is, and we all in this community feel this way? Well, we've got something. Let me know if you like it or you want it. It's there. But I do think people forget as well, going back to the initial question of what kind of stands between people and their mindset and getting those sales. You got to understand, you got to follow the rule of 7 in marketing too. And that rule of 7 is that you have to get in front of your audience 7 times before they're ready to make a sale, to get them all the way down from the first time that they've ever heard about you through to understanding, this is a real person. I've seen them in several different lights now. I can relate to them in some ways. They've done some things that I agree with. And then finally being like, you know what, this actually makes sense for me. And I don't feel like they're just trying to sell me something. I just didn't understand it at first. I mean,
Yeah, that's it. So it's crazy because what we're talking about right now, because everybody wants to make sales, but what you keep talking on, you've hit it already several times, is mindset towards what's going to happen, like a realistic expectation. So let's set some real expectations for people that want to make a significant amount of income. And what I mean by that is like what I consider life-changing income is probably, close to like 50K to 100K a year where they're making it from the TikTok space. Because with that amount of money, you've now replaced your job income for most people, or enough money to make a difference to where you can work from home from finally, right? If you're somebody that wants to do that. So what's the expectations and let's say time frames and mindset someone has to have to be able to do that? If they're starting today with zero, they don't even have a TikTok profile. Let's say worst case scenario, they have no TikTok profile, never made a video, and they don't have a product. Okay, what would be the expectation realistically that they could see, just some results? It's a loaded question, but loaded. But
at the risk of turning some people off, I mean, it depends. It totally depends. That's the truth of it. It just depends on you. Who are you? What are you bringing to the table? Do you have a business plan that is built in for ROI? Or is it something where you're spending more money than you're going to end up making? Do you have to spend $100,000 on the product and the marketing and whatever else in between as far as operations? Are you going to break even? Are you built to make a ton of money? I mean, I've seen some very cheap results on TikTok. I've seen people make 10x whatever they're putting in, 12x ROI, whatever they're putting in. A lot of people just sit around that break even point, because if you follow these best practices that I've been harping on, I mean, you're pretty good to go. Content is king. Having someone to sort of give you a warm handoff to their community, if you don't already have one, is key. Being able to establish trust within TikTok, within communities in TikTok. It really is its own ecosystem, and it is different from Instagram, and it's different from Facebook in those ways where, I mean, you go to Facebook for something, you go to Instagram for something, you go to TikTok for something. There's a community there where they're only talking about this on this app, really. Maybe it'll spread to other apps at some point, like, they all do within this ecosystem. Excuse me. But I mean, you got to get people talking about you on TikTok. That's the first real key there is, having that community, being able to introduce it. So you can, I mean, we always say to following this marketing funnel, looks like this, right? With brand awareness at the top, consideration, and then conversion, following the rule of 7, knowing that you need to get in front of millions of people in order to see hundreds of thousands of sales. If you want 5,000 sales to make $100,000 a year, you're going to need to see probably 500,000 to 1 million people. I mean, depending on depending on the price of your product. If you've got a $3 product that you can sell 3,000 times or 300,000 times to make $1 million a year, I guess 3,000, it would be 30,000 to get to $100,000 a year, right? I don't know.
I have to do the math.
I'd have to use a calculator.
Yeah, me too. I always have one.
But there's formulas for that, and it essentially says if you want to see the results that you want to see, right? So you want to see, let's say, 2x ROI, right? You want to go in and spend $500 and you want to make $1,000 so that you can make exactly back what you have made. Everything over 2x ROI is going to be pure profit. I'm sorry, everything after that first 1.5 or whatever is pure profit, let's say, with your business model. And then you take your price of your product and you're going to multiply it by 50 events, because this is the learning phase. This is what it takes to have the algorithm understand that your product is performing, and use that learning phase to find the people in the communities that you are best suited to work with. And then there's 150 million people on this app. You've reached 100,000 of them. How many more communities do you think there are that look like the one that you were able to reach with $500 alone? So you got to be able to scale it. You got to be able to make it make sense. Got to be able to find that ROI. But I mean, there are a lot of people who do it. You just got to be ready with that content and communities. I can't say it enough, man.
Okay, so let's talk about your story of how you went from working there to what you do now. So kind of give me that journey and what it is that you do now.
Yeah, to better tell that story, I think I'd like to go back to before I ended up at TikTok, honestly, because it really factors into my mindset and kind of my overarching path. So I come from a music background initially. After college, I took a job doing door-to-door sales, and that was my first ever actual like sales job. I totally got duped into doing it, and I wound up loving it. And being really good at it. So I leveraged that into another job, which I leveraged into the job at TikTok. And I was there, and I came in hungry, like I said. And I knew that this is where I could join my passion, my creations of writing and speaking and talking and being a creator. I was a creator before I came onto the team. I was making videos on Instagram and TikTok before I ever came on the team. So I came in and became a subject matter expert for music licensing, for high ticket clients and for agencies, just because I love meeting one-on-one with people. That's what I'm best at. I saw so much success doing that in that ecosystem with internal at TikTok. I knew that I needed to do this for myself. And that I really wanted to be able to help people more than I could, just, being within the company, because it's stringent, they can't be offering helplines to everyone in every single way. I mean, they're this ecosystem that they're trying to maintain and be the gatekeepers of kind of the policy and, what are we doing with this and that? And there's all sorts of politics going on all around that. I mean, we can't gloss over that fact. So, it's a very stringent environment. It's a very, we're really just trying to help these businesses and these people meet each other and inspire more community builders to go out there and build communities and give the community builders the resources to make this into a business. So that was my philosophy coming out of it. It was a really pure one at that. There were definitely, some work-life balance stuff there, because you have the app on your phone. It just follows you everywhere. So I love it. I love the app, and doing this as a next step just made perfect sense to me. I got this videographer from Mr. Beast, and we work really well with our clients, and we're building out a lot of stuff now to where we're going to be able to serve people in a lot of different ways, because I keep finding that there's so many people who are at that stage that you just mentioned, that typical case study of, I don't have a TikTok. I need new channels. I need to find my communities. I've got a product. I've got some ad dollars. How do we do this thing? And some of those people are more ready than they know. Some of those people are a little bit less ready than they think they are. And that's why they take the meeting. They want to know, how ready are we to do this? Where can you fill in the blanks? So we do the content. We manage the ads. We'll set you up for success. We'll teach you how to do it. And we'll will, connect you in all the proper channels, affiliates, influencers, UGC, whatever your price range is really, and whatever your product and your authenticity really calls for. Where's your community? It could be UGC.
So what type of person do you like working with the most? Who do you prefer to work with?
That's a great question. I think most people would probably say that they like working with people who are like themselves. I enjoy working with all sorts of people, and I'm able to relate to all sorts of people in the way that they want their businesses to succeed. I want their business to succeed, if that's true. I mean, there are sometimes businesses that I don't entirely agree with, and it's not that I don't want them to see them succeed. It's that I also need it to be within my integrity to amplify their voice and, tell the story that they're looking to tell. If you're too afraid to tell your story, you got to do some soul searching out in there. So that's really what I find I like the most of my people, is that what they do is connected to exactly what they love. They're in their excitement when they meet with me. They're like, just so reared up to get this thing going, but they're patient and they're ready and they know what it takes and they're ready to listen and they're ready to be transparent. Money is not such a fearful thing as I think a lot of people make it out to be. And you got to be pretty wide open when you go to understand what you need to move forward. You got to understand where you're at first and go from there. And a lot of times people want you to come as you are. You got to be willing to just come as you are, be who you are, and just do the thing that you love today.
Yeah. Spoken like a true business owner, man. It's patience with daily action. And
consistency.
Repeated even when you don't get the results that you want. A lot of people are doing the right thing. They just don't do it long enough. That seems to be a big thing that I see over and over and over again is they'll have a video blow up, they'll drive some leads, they'll get a sale or two maybe. And it's always a small sale because the first couple sales are always $7, $9, but then those $1,000 sales and so on and so forth come from just repeating what you did to get the $7 sale, right? And some people just quit way before they're ready. Sometimes their TikTok, sometimes them being on camera is not good enough to create income, and they need to just be better at delivering a message. And once they get good at that, then the leads come up, and then you got to keep doing that for the sales to come up. And then having a system and operations like you talked about can automate a lot of that 7 touch points that you've been talking about. I've been talking about that a lot lately in all of my content, showing them the systems and operations and funnels that comes with creating income. So with all that being said, man, where can people find you if they want to work with you? What's the best place? I know we're going to have a link down in the description to book a call with James. So just only book the call if you're serious. Only book the call if you're ready to take action. Only book the call if you are a business owner ready to sell a product. Okay. That way you're not wasting his time or yours when you do this call, because this guy's going to help you. He's going to help. He's got literally every missing piece that you need. Him and I share the same love for the app, the same love for helping other businesses drive leads and sales into their community. So I don't think this is the last time you guys will see James and I together. We just met yesterday. And I wanted to introduce him to you guys in this community because there's going to be a lot more of him showing up. So you guys got to keep your eye out. He's not a one-hit wonder.
Yeah. I really appreciate you chatting with me, Colton, and it was so great meeting you yesterday. You asked how it is best to find me. I mean, you can get in touch with my assistant. I've got an email that you can find on LinkedIn. You can book a consult there. I mean, yeah, we'll drop some chats. I mean, we're not present on TikTok right now. We're kind of keeping this as small as we can before really opening up to a really broad audience, because we're in this testing phase. We've got a couple clients. We're seeing some success. we're trying to gain that consistency too right now. We're very fresh, and it feels great to be, on the forefront of something that I know is going to have longevity in this economy. And a lot of people talk about how things can change, and what if I don't get back what I put into it? And this is going back to that last point. You're consistent, and you're going to get consistent results, right? You're out there looking for what you need, and there's a lot of people out there looking for what you have. So I'm out here offering what I have to offer. If you want to get in touch, we're going to be offering a masterclass type a masterclass type prototype webinar type slideshow, setting you up for best practices, being able to go in and set up the ad manager, the TikTok shop, the affiliate programs, the creator marketplace, all these free tools that you have to access that you just need to know how to take advantage of. We're going to be offering a walkthrough guide on how to do those kinds of things. If you're interested in that, hop on the wait list. It only costs a fraction of what it's going to cost once it's done. So hop in now, and you're going to be grandfathered into that. You can always stay in touch with Colton, and he can connect you to me. He's got my info. So if you know Colton, we're good. And vice versa, man. I really appreciate you being able to have this channel, be consistent with your community, and talk with people like me. I really hope that there's a lot of people out there who get this message, because you're a great dude, and this has been super fun. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, likewise, my friend. All right, guys, go watch yesterday's YouTube video so you don't miss out on different ways to monetize your TikTok channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.